Welcome to the Two Girls and a Cup of Wellness podcast. I'm Marie. I'm a nurse practitioner committed to whole health care and helping my patients live vibrantly.
And I'm Chrissy, a yogi, breast cancer thriver, author of For the Love of Jugs, and guide for the mind, body, heart, soul healing. Together, we will empower you with integrative tools and real conversations. So grab your cup and dive into wellness with us.
Today, we are interviewing our good friend, Michelle. After her own cancer journey 10 years ago, she realized that true health requires a whole person approach. As a dental hygienist, she has spent years caring for people's health and well-being, and her personal experience deepened her passion for looking beyond symptoms to support true healing. Over the past decade, she has explored holistic modalities that helped her reclaim her vibrance, and now she feels called to share those lessons with others.
Her world revolves around her beautiful blended family, where she proudly serves as a wife, a mom, a stepmom, and Gigi. She believes that no matter what someone's health history looks like, their healthiest chapter can still be ahead of them.
I love that.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back for yet another Two Girls and a Cup of Wellness episode. My name is Chrissy.
And my name is Marie, and today we have a very special guest. Her name is Michelle, and she is joining us today. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Hi.
Welcome. We're
Thank
so
you.
excited you're here and really looking forward to a fabulous conversation because I know you have so much insight to give and a beautiful story to share and a way to really empower a lot of our listeners. So why don't we kind of go back onto how you got here onto our podcast? There's a beautiful connection between Marie and Michelle.
Yes, I met Marie through a mutual friend, Donna, and they had completed their, training, and I got to talking to Marie, and we're both all about holistic preventative care. And I just started telling her my story of my personal journey of when I got diagnosed with cancer 10 years ago that led me down this path of holistic health.
Yeah, and there was a good connection right away. I think in the first couple minutes,
there was
people in your life that are so glowy.
Yeah, there's a spark.
Yeah, right. A good spark. So I was like, I love this girl. And then I said, I'm starting a podcast. And you said, and you're going to interview me. And I said, yes, I am.
Well, it is so true with that energetic connection. When you walk into a room and you're immediately drawn to somebody, there is that back and forth of the frequency between people that makes you drawn to somebody more than other, or you need to stay back away from me type of people too, and type of energy as well. So I'm so excited that you guys had that connection because now I get to experience it as well. And you are just pure light and joy, even in just the first few moments that I've met you. So welcome.
Thank you.
So why don't we kind of start with your journey 10 years ago? Kind of give us a little insight as to what your life looked like then, and then obviously the diagnosis, and then kind of the time just kind of shortly after the diagnosis.
So at that time, my husband and I have always been healthy, what we considered healthy, eating, exercising. But when you get diagnosed with cancer, and I got diagnosed with cancer February of 2016, and your first thought is, how did that happen?
I know that too.
Yes, exactly. So I actually got diagnosed with anal cancer in February of 2016, and it's a very rare cancer. Only 0.05% of cancer diagnoses are anal cancer. Wow. And 2/3 of those are women. So yes, so I want to bring awareness and there's a big stigma, right? Yeah. So I want to take that away and help people that are dealing with it, and support them any way I can, because there's no stigma. Cancer's cancer. And any cancer is horrible, right? But breast cancer survivors like you, Chrissy, you get pink shirts and pink ribbons, and it's what do we get? Something brown,
There's a lot of brown,
a brown sack.
Yeah,
that's true.
You got a brown ribbon,
right? Yeah, it's just kind of yuck. Anyway, so that's one of my purposes. Really, is just I want to share my story and just help others that have gone through this.
What were some of the
And
side effects?
so what I noticed was I was
I guess,
having,
or how you found out about
Yeah.
it more so. What
yeah, I
were,
was having discomfort, and I had a difficult birth with my first go around. I have had 2 children, but it left me with some side effects that, were hard to deal with. And from that, I just thought it was part of that, like pelvic floor issues or something like that. Well, then I started noticing bleeding, and ironically enough, I'd had a colonoscopy 2 years before, and they said I was squeaky clean, quote unquote. And as I've learned since then, cancer takes 10 years before it, from when it starts to when it's found. So I don't know if they missed something, I don't know. But I went through the treatment, and typically each traditional cancer treatment has a specific prescription, right? So for mine, I did 2 rounds of mitomycin C, and then 2 weeks of wearing this belt of 5-FU from Monday through Friday, and then 28 days of radiation. So that's typically the prescription for that type of cancer. So I went through all that. Something showed on my PET scan, so they ended up wanting to do a liver resection on me as well. So I went through that, and that was June. So after that, in July, I got a clear PET scan. And I just felt something in my spirit, like healing is a process. It's not a one and done. So I just started doing research, and I came across a book by Chris Wart called Chris Beats Cancer.
Yeah, I actually met him a couple weeks ago. He's wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's one of my favorite books.
Yes, I know. It's amazing. And just what he did was amazing. I recommend that book.
Yeah.
But through him, I found Dr. Keneally, who has a practice in Irvine, California called the Cancer Center for Healing. And I just picked up the phone and called. And that was July. I got my PET scan. By the next month, I was in with her and saw her. And what I did was, I can't remember if I flew out there the first time or if I Zoomed. I think I Zoomed a call with her, or maybe the first time you have to go in. I can't remember. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
But
I can't remember what I did yesterday.
I know. So I met with her immediately, that same connection, right, as we had. Just that spark. She was very down to earth, very encouraging, very warm, and basically said that, once the tumor is quote unquote gone, doesn't mean the cancer is gone. So she does comprehensive testing that I went through. One of them was the RGCC blood test.
I just did the first 2 series of certification for that.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so
I have to do the
excited.
3rd series. Yeah. It's
That's
so
great.
mind-blowing to me.
I know. So what they do is they send your blood to Greece,
Yep.
and they do an what's it called? Onco trail. And it shows you any circulating tumor cells.
Tumor cells, yeah.
Right? So that once your tumor's gone, you still have these circulating tumor cells that could land anywhere. They could go back to the same place.
And the stem cells, yeah.
The stem cells, they could land in the same place. They could go somewhere else, metastasize. So at that time, my score was 12, which was pretty high. Like the goal is 0, right?
Okay.
So then she sent and did the OncoNomics. So OncoNomics searches your blood for what chemos will specifically kill your cancer.
Right. And it does the natural stuff too, right?
Yes. What I did was the OncoNomics extracts.
Okay.
So it searches, I don't know how many natural extracts that will, when you take them, it will kill your cancer cells in your body. So like turmeric, quercetin, frankincense. And so that came back with what I should take. And your body builds up a tolerance to anything you take. So you rotate. So I take 2 different extracts, and then next month I take 2 different ones, and then next month I take 2 different ones. And it's constantly on this rotation of extracts, but it's specifically for me. So
have you read Jane McKellen's book,
How to Starve Cancer?
Eat to Starve Cancer, or How to Starve Cancer? She talks
I-
about the same thing.
yes,
Rotating.
I have that book. I can't say I've read it cover to cover.
Yeah.
I
have
read
a lot
the
of
whole thing
books.
either.
No.
I have a lot of books, a lot of tags
Yeah.
and sticky tabs and highlights. And I rotate through what I'm going to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you have gotten to the it's used to be known as SOT, now it's known as Q-Restrain. So the RGCC company, and what she had me do was they send your blood and they tweak it, and it uses the strands of the RNA, and it's designed to bind to your messenger RNA in your blood. So it's your blood, they tweak it, they send it back, you get it as an infusion, and it stealthily kills. It binds to the pathogens or the cancer cells and prevents them from growing.
Wow.
And it kills them. So I've done this 2 or 3 times now, and you have to wait at least 6 months between treatments. So I've done this 2 or 3 times, and my numbers, when they got so low, I didn't do those anymore. But it's cool that you don't have any side effects. You don't feel any differently. They send it to Greece, they tweak it, you get it back. It's your blood, it's your DNA that you're getting back, but it's changed to help you.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. And that's specifically with the RGCC company.
Yeah. And it's not mainstream. I mean,
No.
you told me to read the book in December, and I started reading this book. I said, what is this test? I mean, I've been in healthcare for 20 years. I've never heard of it.
It's not FDA approved.
Right. Yeah.
You can only do it in, out of the country. So, that's why I tell people when they're diagnosed, just start doing research. And, different things resonate for different people. What works for me may not work for somebody else. So I think everybody needs to do their own research and come up with the best plan for them.
Absolutely. And that is, not only are you doing the research and you're learning all of these things, but there's a moment where you have to really listen to your intuition and that inner voice to understand what feels right for you to then take action and actually do.
Right.
Because we can learn things all day long and then not take action, right? But being able to understand, you know what, that sounds actually like it could be very helpful and beneficial and valuable to me, then actually taking the action and doing that. But that's that kind of intuitive piece to it that a lot of people miss. They want to do the research, they want to learn all the things, but then they just kind of leave it hanging. And I'm definitely guilty of that sometimes. Where whatever it is within me stops me from moving forward and actually taking action. I know all of this stuff, but it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? Right. So that is really kind of cool that they have these types of tests that can, not necessarily be a preventative measure, but maybe in a way that it really kind of sounds like it's definitely more preventative than just proactive. Right. And
they have a test.
I don't know if you've listened. I don't love the word preventative.
Right.
Because I don't think we can fully prevent anything, but proactive.
They do have a test. Their initial test is the preventative, because in the course it said it'll pick this up at that 10-year mark, right? The 10-year prior before you see something on a scan.
Right. So like this is really kind of big in the actual taking steps to prevention and to be proactive. But I mean, this sounds like, wow, really for me, a little, clearing of the name of it for me, like, for prevention,
Yeah. So it's all about early detection.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like that.
During these 10 years, have you made changes to your diet that you felt were important, or lifestyle?
Absolutely. So before I went to see her, and after I'd finished my treatment, I just started juicing and eating all these cruciferous vegetables and just doing the things I had learned about to clear my system of the toxicity that I had just gone through. By the time I saw Dr. Keneally, I'd been vegan for about 2 months, and I felt like I was going to die. And she said, "You're type O blood, you need protein." And I'm like, thank goodness, I get to have protein. So just, be aware of labels,
Mm-hmm.
and even, eat as much organic as we can. That's what we do. Making sure you're eating the rainbow, moving every day,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Just, it's common sense things, but doing it. And I always say it's all about progress, not perfection,
Yes.
because, your mental health is, you don't want to beat yourself up. You want to stay positive and
Mm-hmm.
upbeat. And if you try to reach for perfection, you can't be happy.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing perfect in life,
Right.
right? When you really look at everything, where did flowers come from? Flowers came from dirt and from, mud, and lotus flowers come from mud, and, we come from a little seed, and
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing is perfect in life. We all have to kind of go through those times in our life, the dark times, to come out and
See the
see
light.
things, see the light, and see things differently, and have a fresh new perspective on life. So that's beautiful. So now 10 years later, look at you thriving and doing all the things continuously to remain cancer free. But I know you mentioned that you're a dental hygienist. So how do you take your experience and your story, and how do you help others now, whether it's in your business or your family or your friends, or have you started doing like support groups with cancer, other cancer thrivers, or what do you do now?
So I have new patients, and I've had a couple that had the same diagnosis as me.
Wow.
I just had one of my long-term patients I saw got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer a couple of weeks ago. And I just literally start sharing information and giving them my number. How can I help you? Explain some of the things I've done. Um, Dr. Keneally she has a room full of IV chairs. So high dose vitamin C, which you can find here.
Yeah.
Ozone therapy, which you can find here. But what I just tell people to start doing research. Again, what resonates with you? And take a breath. I feel like once you get that diagnosis, they're ready to rush you
Mm-hmm.
into surgery, and I say just take a breath, start researching, take some time to yourself, and see what resonates with you.
I have a quick question. What would be some of the how should people research? Let me preface that way. How should people research? Because people can get on the internet and they can get into Google, and it's like they can go down that rabbit hole, and then it's fear, and then they stop and they do nothing and they only listen to their doctors. So what would be some things like words or sentences to actually search for?
So I would say holistic health cancer treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, since I saw Dr. Keneally, she actually wanted me to do an EBOO treatment, which I don't know if you've heard of EBOO. It's a type of oxygenation and ozone treatment to your blood. So you literally sit in a chair and they take your blood out of one arm and it goes through this machine that does ultraviolet light and to your blood and inserts ozone, and it comes back in this arm. And like your blood leaving here is dark, your blood coming in here is bright red. So it's just that rich oxygenated blood. So I found a doctor here in Florida. I was down in Sarasota that could do this instead of flying to California. And through him, he told me about fenbendazole.
Yeah.
And which is another buzzword in the
Very
cancer
big.
community.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started taking that. And Joe Tippins has a whole website, My Cancer Story Rocks, that you can read about his story and what he's doing. But that resonated with me. That was one more step I took. I think if you're truly on a journey, you'll be led to where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
You have to trust your gut. And, but as far as researching, there's certain reputable names that I trust, like Chris Wark, like Josh Axe, like, there's gosh, I'm trying to think who else.
And
Radical
Joe Tippins
Remission.
and Remission, Kelly
Mm-hmm.
Turner,
Yes.
and Jane McClellan. We got to meet. I actually got to meet a few of these people a few weeks ago at this wonderful cancer conference down in Palm Beach. And Joe Tippins was there. Jane McClellan was there. Chris Wark was there. Amanda King, who's also very big into the metabolic approach, which we'll have her on at some point. And it was really impressive to sit back and to listen to so many different concepts in healing through cancer. And, these are the things that we don't hear because it's not mainstream, right? It's not big pharma funding everything. So it's a little bit more on the hush, hush, quiet side. But being in a building with that many powerhouses in the holistic healing was like, wow. I mean, it was a little overwhelming. So I think there's something to be said about that too, about the overwhelm. Just slow down, let it, like you said, let it lead you where you're meant to go and take one thing at a time. You can't do all the things all at once.
And it does get confusing because there's so many different diet recommendations and this or that. And I really, again, if you just sit and let it marinate and see what resonates. That's, quiet time. I'm a Christian. I have faith. I trust in God. And I feel like when you have that intuition, that knowing, it will lead you in the right direction.
I love that.
Yeah. And it's surrounding yourself also with like-minded people, right? If I think there needs to be a lot more love in the integrative approach to cancer, right? Where we maybe are marrying both conventional and traditional healing. But it doesn't necessarily need to be one way or the other. I love the fact of kind of bringing in the two.
And in the medical world, you get people, like I always say this, they live in their box and they don't want to even look out of it because what they've done for 20 years has always worked. And they don't even want to spend the time to say, well, maybe this will work. Or maybe we should think about this, or this is some new like ozone or these new tests. They discredit it. And I don't know why there's such almost an ignorance in medical.
Sure.
Because I've seen so much of it.
I mean, for so many years, we've given over our whole lives to doctors and we trust them and we put them on these pedestals. And granted, they're amazing. They're so smart and we need them. I'm not saying anything against that, but it does take the power away from us. We have that power inside of us, number one, to heal, and number two, to make these decisions to intuitively make these decisions that feel right to us.
Or decisions together.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Meet with, when I speak with my patients, I'm like, well, what do you think about this? I may have some doubts here, but it may have some benefits here, but it's really your choice.
Yeah.
What you want me to do for you. And we can talk about it together. And I love that.
Yeah.
But a lot of providers all through my life just go in and they just speak down to the person and they make them feel like crap. And I was a nurse for years, so I'd be holding the hand afterwards and crying, and now I'm a nurse practitioner. So when I speak to my patients, I don't want to be that way.
Yeah. Well, that's
so
person to person,
know.
Human to human. And what's right for you may not be right for me and vice versa. I have literally been in a doctor's office where I left crying because my doctor pretty much told me that if I don't do this, I could die.
Now, have you found that, Michelle, with Dr. Connolly?
No, not with her.
No, but like if you went to another doctor, have you mentioned that I did the RCGG?
I did briefly. Now I only see her now.
Okay.
Just because, they kind of look at you like, oh, that Greek test, like they just have zero merit.
Because the research isn't there and they're all just research.
Right.
Driven.
So, I've gotten those, and I'd say, what do you think about fenbendazole? And they just kind of roll their eyes, because that's not what they're going to prescribe. Right. So,
and they don't know about it probably, right? They're not taking the time actually to do their own research because it doesn't benefit them at all. So they're not going to take the time to learn more about it.
If you stray from the box, you're going to be seen as the woo-woo kooky doctor. And there was one at the conference the other day that got up and spoke, and he's leaving the oncology world to do more of this integrative approach. And he knows that his doctors are going to shun him. It's almost like a witch trial thing, you know?
It's
Take him to
really
the stake or
sad.
whatever. It's
Yes.
sad. Yeah.
But I guess again, there's somebody for everybody, right? So when you are newly diagnosed with anything, cancer, or any other type of disease, I think looking and creating your team of doctors is really ultimately up to you, right? So you try to find the person that is going to listen to you and that is going to support you in your journey of doing things. Like when I look at my team of doctors, there was definitely a few that was like, no supplements during chemo, no doing this or that, right? And I knew some of those things could support me, but I didn't trust my gut enough in that moment. So I just listened. But then, I think they all kind of came around when they saw in my meditation and in my yoga and the breath work and all the things that I was doing. They saw how quickly my body adapted to the chemo also, because I think, granted, the chemo probably worked amazing and it did what it was supposed to do. But I think also some of the integrative things that I were doing or the holistic things that I were doing on the side also helped me in my journey become cancer-free much quicker, much faster, right? Helped my body to get to that point where I could hear those words, there's no evidence of disease, right?
Right.
And I think at some point, I think they finally realized like that, okay, what she is doing is helping, but still not enough for a huge change in most of their patients, I think. But, and again, I don't want to ever downplay or go against doctors. I think there's a time and place, and mine were beautiful and they helped so much. But I think there was some things that I wish would have went a little differently. I wish I would have been able to, I think, incorporate some of those holistic healings in without the judgment.
And there's a lot of things that you can do to help your body detox, right? Like Epsom salt baths with baking soda, and Dr. Keneally likes magnetic clay to pull out toxins, dry brushing, castor oil packs. To, like, if you're having a problem with your breast, you can put them there, or your thyroid or your liver.
Yeah, I love castor oil packs. I haven't done one in a while.
I know. It's all these things, right? You think of them, it's like, oh, I need to do that again. I actually just did a video about that, about our language changes our perspective, right? Instead of saying, I have to do this, I get to do this. That's right.
And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I get to do that. Instead of me, it doesn't sound so like harsh and like a task.
Demanding.
Yeah, exactly.
What else do you do, Michelle?
I rebound, which is great for your lymphatic system. The infrared saunas. I don't have an infrared sauna, but I bought an infrared blanket that I get into. That's really helping to detox. Hyperthermia, hot baths, infrared, anything that warms your body up will help fight pathogens of all kinds, cancer, whatever. My hot baths, I get as hot as I can stand. And I hop in, and it's just my time of relaxing. And also, I don't know if you've heard of solfeggio tones. So I'll put on some solfeggio tones that goes with the positive frequency of your body, right? So there's so many things you can do that really help like that.
So if somebody were just diagnosed today, what advice would you give them to, just to kind of start their journey? I know we've said a lot of things, but whether it's a quote or just a piece of advice to kind of create some ease in their mind.
I always just recommend Dr. Keneally's book, because she has so many helpful preventative things if you've been diagnosed, what to start doing to help you through whatever treatment you decide to do. Just to have moments to yourself for your own mental health. get rid of toxic people. If you have toxic people in your life, you know what I mean? It brings you down. And I was just talking to my daughter about this because she was having some problems with somebody, and it throws off your voltage, right? So we all vibrate at a certain level, which should be higher. Lower voltage equals disease. So, and toxic people bring that down. Negative thinking brings that down. So you have to be your own advocate and your best friend, right? To eliminate what's not good and bring in what's good.
Yeah, really be true with yourselves. Be honest with yourselves, because a lot of people can look and be like, oh my gosh, my life is just so perfect. I'm surrounded by all these people. But when you really stop and you slow down and you really take a good looking at your life, or the way that you're showing up, or the things that you're feeding yourself and your mind, we can all make changes and shifts, right? But we have to be very real and vulnerable with ourselves to kind of get to that hard truth of what is working and what is not working. What can I continue forward with, and what do I need to leave back behind?
Yes. And I heard a quote that said we should ruthlessly eliminate hurry.
Ooh.
And take moments to relax. Take moments in your day where you're not rushing, where you're just being, you know?
We've heard
that
this
just
before.
I know. We may have
You did?
like that
No, I mean,
times.
we hear it from a lot of different people. You know, it's that same thing. Enjoy the journey, not just getting to the finish line, and embracing your now and what enjoying it, right? And not thinking
Yes.
ahead 10 steps, which I tend to
Right.
do throughout the day. All right, what's next? And as a mom, you know, I got to cook this, I got to do this.
We all have a
That's-
list. You know, we all have things we have to do, but to take moments during the list to just be, I think is important.
Yeah, I say that a lot in yoga, is like, we're done with the doing, you know, with the physical practice, we've done it. And when we get into Shavasana, it's now about the being, you know, how can
Yes.
you truly surrender and just be in the experience of you as you are right here, right now. It's
Yeah.
very important.
We are human beings.
That's right. Not human doers.
Yeah.
So Michelle, what do you do on, let's just, you know, on a regular weekend day, what do you do to fill your soul?
Oh my gosh. I think you need to do things that fulfill you. Like I love to play pickleball. We do that on the weekend. I recently also engaging your mind and constantly learning is huge for me. That energizes me. I just learned Mahjong. So I'm playing Mahjong now.
It's
quite popular.
Yeah.
I know. It's like everybody's on the Mahjong train, but it's fun. It's community. You get together with other women. You use your brain because it's not easy. So I play Mahjong. Really, community is huge to me. Getting together with friends and family. You know, we've got a big family together. Tom and I have 5 kids. We have 5 grandkids. So anytime we can be with our family is the best time.
That connection.
So yes.
Yeah, family's everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So beautiful.
So tell us about this journey you're you're starting with your Instagram. What's your
Yes, I
goals?
just started on Instagram at holistichealth.withmish. Mish comes from our kids. My name's Michelle. They call me Mish. They're like, hey, Mish, let's go play pickleball or, you know, whatever. So that's a term that's endearing to me. So I want to share my knowledge. I want to help people. I want to do whatever I can to get knowledge out there that people haven't heard of. I just started, but just since I've started, I've had so many people contact me. One friend reached out. I didn't know this. Her husband had just gotten diagnosed with cancer and they were going to order Cancer Revolution by Dr. Keneally. I posted about that. The detox drink, I posted that, where I drank this morning. I also drink hydrogen water. That's supposed to be very cleansing for your liver. The detox is apple cider, lemon juice, ginger, cinnamon, yes, and a little bit of cayenne pepper. I just find that energizing in and of itself to drink, and that's just a good way to start your day to detox. You can do warm lemon water if you don't. I just typically do room temperature. But really, I just want to share the information I've gathered over these past 10 years. And like I said, I just started. So far, it's been amazing.
Yeah, I think it's great. And I think you need to do something, not brown ribbons, but you should do something for rectal cancer.
I'm going
like
to do that.
A 5K in Orlando.
Yes.
We'll come up for sure.
We'll come up. But yeah, I mean, it's always, and no offense to you, Chrissy, but it is a huge promotion towards breast cancer, heart disease. That's all this celebration, and there's nothing for anything else.
Right.
You know,
there are,
there are things, but
groups, yes, but it's not, it's a more rare cancer. So again, it just doesn't have the knowledge out there about it. So I'd like to raise knowledge and awareness.
It'd be interesting to see if it's going to rise, because I know colon cancer rates have rised, with the processed food and stuff. So
yes,
I mean, that goes to triggers and thinking about what causes these things. And I don't know if you pay attention to the glyphosate and all the legality of that.
Well, this was a wonderful, wonderful conversation. You are, again, just a joy. And thank you for sharing your story and being vulnerable with us, and also inspirational to all of our listeners, because I think that the more and more people hear stories like this of survival, but not only just survival, how do you thrive after a diagnosis like that, and especially a rare one? And it gives people hope that if they're in that situation, or if a loved one is in that situation, they are more like inclined to listen to somebody who's already gone through it, rather than going to just so many doctors and all of the things. It's like, well, what did you do? Clearly it's working for you. But it's a beautiful way to honor the journey and to spread the love and share your knowledge and your energy into the world. So I appreciate you, and I so thank you for that.
And I can't wait to see what's coming for you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This has been great.
Yeah.
So much fun.
You joined us.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you again. Yep. Until next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.